Thanks for tuning back, everybody. This is session 16 here at On the Edge of Shadow. Strangers in a Strange Land. Who wants to kick us off for the evening with a quick recap of the previous session?
Well, I'll take this if you like.
Go for it.
We had found ourselves finally back in lands that we knew of, and we had come back to the Arborian village and let them know about the sort of the status of this cult up in the valley and such. And they seemed to already know, but not really care, which was a bit odd to us, I thought. Or they thought that someone else was going to take care of it for them, specifically us. Well, and of course, though, we had other things to attend to because Blogvir was enchanted by a wonderfully beautiful maid bound by the river.
Oh,
She's
yeah,
only,
she
she was
was,
only
uh, she
beautiful
was
because,
quite stunning.
yes, very stunning. But she had laid a guess upon him to seek out his love, and he was being drawn like a steel filing to a magnet to the south. Thus, we wound up making some deals with some local merchants for some traveling equipment and some provisions, including quite a bit of bear meat, apparently, and of course some salt to keep it in, fishing spears, et cetera, et cetera. And we made a deal with a young lad to procure us a boat, which he did, his uncle's boat, who he claimed would not miss it. Once we took passage and headed down the river, we realized that neither of us was really well versed in the operation of boats, but we didn't die. Although at some point along the way, Sheehan wound up spearing a fish that was not a fish. It apparently was one of the Fae, and he died. And after that, the poor fellow's widow began haunting me horribly. Eventually, we came to a landing spot that we recognized. We had instead of going through the lands we did not know, we chose to take a longer route in hopes of running into some Mercians we might have known. We did not. We landed back at a place where we had a stash. Got a bit of our grains that we had stashed there, and a bit of tools and such, woodworking tools, long axes and things of that nature. Went further down the river until we found a place where there was obviously a crossing and a large number of people who had moved that way. We followed that path, ran to a village that was a mixture of the Mercians and Atlanteans, who told us that a large group had passed through there a few days before. We continued to the point where we found ourselves in a village outside what looked to be a fortress of some type of Atlantean design. And that is effectively where we left off.
Excellently done. Thank you, Sheehan. Um, so we will actually go ahead and pick up, we'll say that next morning, off in the distance, the cockerel crows from some barn, possibly half a mile away. So to describe the scene for you, it's remarkably warm for late autumn, and there's kind of a low mist in some of the lowlands here of the Loping Plains. On the other side of this wheat field, you see that sprawling Atlantean fort. It's not what you'd consider like a grand fortress, like a castle where a noble would live, but this is um, a sizable fortress to possibly project Atlantean military might into an area and to see over and protect these scattered villages. You see the various pennons of the Atlantean fleet. However, you are not aware of what these colors, these fishes, or these designs may mean, but many pennons there are. Well, let's turn over to Blogvir this morning. He has suffered through another nightmarish, fitful sleep, where that stunning beauty has visited him for the past, we'll say, fast handful of chains.
Well, Blogvir is going to wake up. Still exhausted, still has 1 grade of exhaustion from these constant nightmares and not really getting any fitful, no restful sleep. He will get up and lumber about, putting his armor on and everything very sluggishly. He'll go over there and check and see if Sheehan's up or if he's sleeping still. If he's sleeping, he's not going to bother him because he's probably going to have another nightmare and wake up. So he'll be up shortly. And he'll, once he gets his armor on, he'll go and splash some water on his face and try to wake up and assess the day, as it were.
For the past, we'll say 2 days here, as you guys are kind of going through these occupied lands, Sheehan in particular is kind of suffering from a lingering kind of, it's almost like a memory, as well as you could possibly assume it's a hallucination. The entity that you remember, known as the Black King, that haunted you in your village, the one village you deemed to call home right after your exile, attacked, and it seems that this entity was sleeping for a time, and it's found you again.
Sheehan wakes up screaming. The scream that actually echoes across the landscape causes birds to fly from a distance as they were trying to settle down for the morning. Looks around for a moment, sees the sun, notices the warmth, takes several deep breaths as he catches his breath and wipes the cold sweat from his brow. Notices Blogvir's up and gets up and starts getting his stuff together as if nothing happened. Once he's dressed, he's like, Blogvir, he's back.
Come again. Who's back?
That damn little Black King, the one with the mask.
Oh, I thought we got rid of him. What'd you do now?
Nothing that I know of. Maybe, I don't know, killed a fish? Probably. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
So we're both plagued by some demon or another. This is turning out to be just a fantastic adventure.
Yes. Oh well. Hey, I guess they have to have something to do, and we're the most interesting people around, I suppose. Those things just keep constantly getting mixed up in my mind.
Well, we should just ignore them and go about our business, right?
Well, we can only ignore them for a time. Eventually, we'll have to placate them. So, did you ever happen to come across, in your travels before we met, a figure that led trollmen and goblins and all sorts of creatures from village to village? A dark king, if you will.
Can't say that I have. Most of my encounters before I met you were Atlanteans.
Well, while we're walking, I suppose I should tell you the tale of it. So, he launches into a tale about when he was traveling with his cousin shortly after he was exiled from his own home, and he came upon a small village of the Mercians that took him in. And there were a few of the fair folk that were among them, but not many. And he'll admit at that time he didn't think much of humans in general because, well, they'd always just been sort of those you know, sort of monkeys that knew tricks, according to him. But he actually learned during that time to respect them more because the babushka there helped him out quite a bit. But before he could truly settle in and actually enjoy his time, this figure came riding out of the forest at the head of a small band. Well, what is a small band? It was actually quite a large band of a mixture of troll men and goblins, and attacked the village and ransacked the place. This figure rode upon a pale horse. He was a tall figure, crowned, pale of skin, seemed almost to be, well, almost the feel of death incarnate. And no matter what force was bore against him, it did not overcome him. He came, he retrieved what he wished to have, which was the local holy man's tablets, which had his rituals, and then rode away almost as quickly. Eventually, the goblins and the trollmen were driven off by the warriors of the village, but not before great loss. And Sheehan was gravely wounded in that conflict. So my mind, because of all the different things that have occurred over the past months, conflates all the darkness together. I think it might actually be this figure that I kept seeing last night, not the not the Fae in the mask. So I feel they have some, I don't know, kinship possibly, or there might be a connection there of some type. I just don't know what it is.
Maybe this crown king of sorts, he may lead the cult or something or another. Maybe the true power behind them, if he's seeking out all these artifacts.
He may be. So,
well, I don't want to meet him. I can't hurt incorporeal things.
Oh no, he was very much corporeal. As I said, he rode upon a horse, and his blade slew just like every other man's. It just seemed that he was made of sterner stuff.
Well,
one thing that Sheehan will indeed remember, that the Black King was something of the Fae, but worse and twisted. Yes. Something more of the darkness than of the Fae. Eventually, possibly was a Fae at some time, but the thing is no longer, indeed.
So something worse than Aramoth. Sheehan shudders at that thought, even though the sun warms him. Dark things are afoot, my friend. Of course, you already knew that, but I have a feeling that things will get much darker.
Well, let's hope he doesn't deign to show his presence to us for some time. I don't wish to part from his life quite yet, and it seems like he'll be the one to usher me across the veil there, and I don't feel like doing that right now.
He could. Though I think, and he reaches up and brushes his hand across one of the feathers of one of the Fae arrows, I may actually be at least able to draw his blood this time.
If a thing like that bleeds.
If it bleeds, it can die.
If it bleeds, we can kill it. But if not, we're fucked.
Yes, as you say. So,
well, we should try to find these refugees.
We should. The path leads here, so lead the way, Blogvir. I'm afraid my limited languages might not be of any use here.
Last session, they told us that they came through here. Did they keep going, or did they settle down in this place?
According to your information, they traveled south, farther south. As it seems like they've been going at a rather steady clip towards the coastline.
Well, I guess we should continue south then, if our provisions are still in order.
we might need to go in this little town here and do a little bit of trading. Maybe ask some questions as well, and maybe get something a little more. He adjusts his heavy clothing, something a little more appropriate for the weather.
All right, you're right. I guess we will go about if there's like a market or a merchant stall or some sort. We'll go and look for provisions and such.
There is what seems to be a small grouping of stalls, as well as a larger flea market outside that fort that you can actually see across the field. There's a bunch of pavilions around. People coming and going from the different directions from the villages, of course.
Is there one that looks like they sell clothing, or?
You guys are gonna have to go over there and check. You're much too far away to actually see.
Well, we start lumbering over there then. Well, I lumber. He, hotfoots over there.
Yeah.
These are mostly Atlantean artisans, but they do have tailors. They do have quite a variety when it comes to craftsmen here, which also there's a few Nemersians there. The Nemersian goods are going to be obviously more primitive, but nothing that you're not familiar with.
Well, we do have some trade goods we could use. We probably ate most of the bear meat, or part of it at least.
Mm-hmm.
We do have some salt, which is always useful. We have those two bear skins too.
Of course.
And carpenter tools. I think we have one set of carpenter tools.
That's true. Set of carpenter tools and a log cutting axe. So,
is there one or two of those, Keith?
Well, I have log cutting axes, so I'm assuming we had both axes, but we only went to one set of the carpentry tools.
Yeah, we had two, and we left the other tools. We took just one.
Okay.
And some fishing spears. So.
Okay. All right.
Cursed, tainted fishing spears. The blood of a fae upon them.
Well, they are now. Well,
the wail of the widow echoes through them. Is cursing when he told it.
Widow's Lament, one of them is named.
Oh my god.
It's a legendary artifact from mythology now.
Remember that for thousands of years in the future, you'll have that thing. Widow's Lament.
+2 for fishing. There you go.
Yes, it only gets fey fish.
Oh my god. So yeah, you guys get over there. And it's actually a rather well-stocked market. Really anything that you could possibly want here, as it's outside of a fort, you could find. What are you guys looking for specifically?
Sheehan said he wanted clothes.
Yeah, change of clothes, some probably some more traveling provisions. So
okay. They're mostly going to be Atlantean fashion, so you may or may not chafe at such a thing.
I wouldn't necessarily care as long as it covers me. Keeps the sun off my skin, but keeps me from boiling to death in these furs.
Okay. All right. Where are you going to be keeping these changes of clothes?
Well, we have this sled, so this will I'll probably just once we get by them, I'll probably change into them.
Okay.
And
the Atlantean tailor here is asking for this strange thing called coinage that you're probably not familiar with.
We got a few of them shiny pieces, don't we?
I think we gave them all away in the last village, getting all the stuff, the provisions we had. I don't know if we have any left.
I don't know if you guys have any left.
Yeah, I think we had one piece each. I think left. So I don't know if it was silver or gold. It was just one shiny piece left.
So, yeah, we'll go with silver.
Okay, and so I'm letting Blogvir translate because I don't speak Atlantean.
Mm-hmm.
So
unless they speak Nemersian or something too, but I don't know. I doubt it. They might though if they live here and they integrated.
This tailor speaks very broken Nemersian. So his Nemersian is very good.
So okay, well, I'll pull that one piece of shiny metal and say this kind of stuff.
Oh yes, he nods. He nods. Yeah,
How
of
many?
course.
How many of these for clothes?
He kind of cocks his eyebrow at you and kind of gets out like a t-shirt, a tunic, a belt, and some trousers, and he says he kind of holds up 3 fingers.
So one of these for 3 of those?
I think he means 3 of the coins for those.
Oh, okay.
Yes, of course.
I don't have any. Where do I get these?
He just kind of looks at you with this "you podunk piece of shit" look in his eye.
I have 1 coin. That's 2. Maybe we can trade with the fur. The tailor could use bear fur, right?
Maybe.
Would that do, Taylor?
So show me what pelts that you have.
Let's reach into the sled and get out one of those bear fur and show it to him. See if he likes it.
So yeah, he goes. How many do you have? How many of those?
2.
He'll go ahead and he'll take the bear pelts for the clothing. Both of them for obviously the outfit, we'll say.
Sheehan the Atlantean. I can't say it suits you.
I'm going to do a bit of a cunning check real quick. Let's see. That is going to be a 16 on the cunning check.
What are you going for?
I'm thinking to myself, North, I could have traded these bear pelts for more than just one set of clothing. So I'm pretty good in the sly eye. And I point to one bear pelt, hold up 1. I point to that set of clothing, and I point to me, and I point to Blogvir. Set of clothing for each for 1 bear pelt. It's worth more than that.
No. He's not biting that at all.
You gotta remember, these are cultured Atlanteans who are posh and high class.
Yeah. Oh. I look over at Blogvir and I said, we can get more for this somewhere else. Maybe we can trade these bear furs for these pieces of metal.
Very well. You're the one who won an outfit. There's no skin off my back.
Not that bad though. So I give him that look. As I'm walking away. Yeah. So, yes. If you've ever been to a flea market, you know there's always that one lady there who's trying to negotiate prices down, and she's really good at it. And if she doesn't give you the proper thing, she gives that look. That's the look I'm giving.
Okay. Yeah. So, I know.
You'll look for some Nemersians that might actually be, doing clothing or something possibly.
They'll be trying to do kind of like a heavier linen kind of outfits.
Okay.
Not really for, I suppose, traveling, but and something like the rougher stuff that you're wearing, but something that you'd like wear around the village.
Okay. So good basic durable clothing, basically is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's certainly not work clothes.
Yeah, okay. So is there anybody here who basically is trading in furs, maybe?
Yes, there is.
Let's go talk to that person because they might know what they have.
Yeah, there's an Nemersian and an Atlantean working the same stall. These guys are your fur traders.
Okay. We can walk over there and say, gentlemen, I have some bear furs from the far north. don't know if you'd be interested in them.
The Nemersian clearly is a he's a slave. We'll just put it that way.
Well, I'm talking to him, so
right. Okay.
I'm used to Nemersians being Nemersians. So
he is actually wearing his hair in the like the native fashion, long, as the Atlantean actually is wearing his hair in the native fashion as well. And the Nemersian just kind of like he lowers his eyes and just kind of like cocks his head over to the Atlantean, and the Atlantean just in Nemersian actually speaks the language actually very well. He goes, "Pales from the far north. Where do they come from?"
They come from the land of the Arborians, great warriors. You may have heard of them.
Oh, I've heard of these people. Supposedly, these men and women are tall as trees.
They are. Some taller. I pull off one of the pelts and display it out in all its grandeur, and I say, "This was felled by a great hunter. He killed it with a knife."
Which is an obvious deception, Keith. Come on.
Okay. So that's spirit, right?
Yes. Deception is spirit.
Yeah, pretty good. 15.
And he actually believes you.
He's heard plenty of stories.
Right, of course. No, he goes, "A knife, you say?"
Yes.
That is excellent. But he points to this big gash along the side. He goes, "What part of the beast is this?" It's like a tear in not the middle of the pelt, mind you, but it's a.
I'll use my wilderness lore to figure out what part of the pelt that actually happens to be. Be a 15 on my wilderness lore check to figure out where that would be at.
That would be so it's the base of the neck, if you will.
Okay.
Apparently, Warwick was quite accurate with that shot and got the thing at the spinal column.
So that was where the killing blow was struck.
He nods with this knowing look. He goes, "We don't have beasts like this where we come from." What is this? And he kind of runs his fingers through like the bear's fur.
This is what the people of the north call the bear. Some few refer to it as a Bjorn in their language. Large beast with great claws, tall as a mountain.
He looks over to his slave and he says in Atlantean, "Is this true? And what are these?" And the Nemersian, he nods and he describes what a cave bear looks like. Obviously, he's either like fresh off the boat, maybe like a couple months ago, or he's just been living under a rock. He's, "Oh, that's what that is," and they all nod. Yeah, that's yeah.
Yep, that is what that is. Very large beast. It'll eat anything.
Anything.
Yes, they eat plants. They eat animals. They eat people. Whatever they happen to come across. So.
How much would you want for this?
Like over at Blogvir. And what do you think? In Fairwest.
We'll start with 10 gold and see. We could always barter. He seems naive.
Okay, I'll pull out one of the coins, the silver coin. I see 10 of these, but in the yellow metal, gold.
He goes and checks with his slave. Is this acceptable? And
I kind of look at the slave when he asks him if it's acceptable. I'm kind of giving that intimidation look like, yeah, it's fucking acceptable. You better tell him it is.
And
like I'll eat your fucking bones, bitch. If you tell him it's acceptable.
That would be an intimidation check, would it not?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
All right, so wait, okay. I don't think I've ever rolled intimidation.
That is actually persuade. Intimidation is underneath persuade.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, that's an 8.
There you go. Explode those dice, baby.
That's an 18.
Ooh, oh shit, you're kind of fucking scary, dude. Jesus. So yeah, he just kind of looks at you and it's like inches away a little bit, like oh. Clearly, he's heard the stories that ogres certainly can, and
Yeah, I kind of lick my lips a little bit too. I'm looking at him.
on occasion, and the slave goes, well. I've seen beasts of such as this as much bigger, and 10 gold would be clearly an acceptable price for this. This is slightly smaller, but 8 should work. 8 would be acceptable. And the Atlantean goes, huh? 8. Well, 8. He looks up at Blogvir and goes, oh, what do you say to 9?
9 each. We have another one.
You have 2.
Of course.
Oh,
These beasts may be fierce, but we're fiercer.
Show me the other one. I wish to see the quality of both.
All right, well, we'll get the other one and show it to him. Hold it up, unfurl it, and hold it up. Let him look at it.
And again, he kind of runs his fingers through it. He has the same beast. One's slightly darker than the other one, like more of an auburn color, kind of like that primordial cave bear pelt color, and it was both for 15 gold. How about?
I look at Sheehan. He's the sneaky, roguish type. I mean, is that good for you?
I'll look over it. I'll look over at the Atlantean and I say, this white metal, silver they call it, yes?
Yes, this is silver.
Which is worth more, this or the yellow gold?
Oh, no, the gold is much more. No, these two, he indicates the pelts would be, and he turns to his Nemersian slave and he in Atlantean, what is the word? And the Nemersian will translate as that's more 80 or 90 of these, and he points to the silver, and he's trying to like explain to you like the ratio. Being respectful about it, he's clearly a fucking foreigner. So,
well, in that case, I look at Blogvir and said, yes, we should take 15
of
the gold
touches the
and
gold coin. 15
and the equal value of one more in the silver.
They both cock their eyebrows at you like, you did 15 silver? What?
Well, no, 15 of the gold, and then the equivalent of one more gold in silver.
So 15 gold and then 1 gold worth of silver.
Yeah, basically 16 gold, but the last one in silver.
Yeah,
you're making changes. What you're asking?
Yeah,
because obviously, if the gold is worth more, I'm not going back to that Atlantean and giving him a gold coin.
No. Okay, all right. I see what you're doing there.
and I'll also show them that Auburn one. It's kind of more classy. Maybe some lady would like it. It would look nice across her shoulders as a shawl or something. Little scarf you can make. Kind of woo a woman.
No.
And I'll reach over.
Do native women favor such a pelt?
Oh yes. Native women love these pelts.
Oh.
If you present a woman with this pelt, she would bed you for many nights.
Sheehan leans forward. If you lay it upon the bed and have her lay upon it, I guarantee you many sons.
His eyes go a little wide. And he's, oh my!
In fact, he reaches over and reaches into the sled and pulls out a bundle and pulls out about 5 or 6 pieces of the bear meat that has been, we basically jerked it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
This is the meat of the beast. This will sustain you for days.
Also a potent aphrodisiac.
Oh my god. Okay. All right.
The essence of this great beast will fill you with vigor, if you know what I mean, Atlantean. I speak to him in Atlantean too, so he's even more like, you know.
Oh, shit, you're kind of on the level. Fuck you.
So he's like more, off the edge. You know, he's at ease now. I'm talking to him as in Atlantean. So I'm trying to just honey this fucking pot up and sweeten it for him.
Oh yeah, of
Come
course.
on.
No, dude. Yeah, I get you. He's, He just kind of rubs his chin as most Atlanteans don't grow beards, but this one particularly is going native, and he's got a bit of stubble going on, so he's kind of like scratching at it, going, huh. I agree. All right. Yes. We will have these 2 pelts for the price that you ask.
All right. I hold my hand out to shake.
He shakes your hand.
Okay.
He asks his slave to go get the money for him, but you're promptly paid. You hand the pelts over.
Okay. All right. Blogvir, we now have. Here, you hold the yellow stuff. I'll keep the silver stuff.
All right.
So,
I'll put it in my little pouch with Gilfeck's beard.
so how many silver is that?
That is it's 100 across the board. So 100 copper is 100, or actually 1 silver. 100 silver is a gold.
Okay, so I have 100 silver coins. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I have this bag that I'm carrying around. It's pretty darn heavy, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's it's rather substantial.
Like a 2-handful giant pouch you're like holding on to filled with coins.
He doesn't give you a pouch, he gives you a coffer.
Ah, okay. No.
And he actually hands over the key for the coffer. So
we're fancy as fuck now, guys.
Hell yeah. So
and he actually introduces himself. He goes, I thank you for your kind words here. My name is Evios. I am not born to these lands, but I seem to favor a colder climate. I like this place. And he just kind of looks at Sheehan kind of with this, like a longing sympathy in his eyes. Like he's being absolutely genuine with you.
Okay. Well, this is a beautiful place to be. These lands are rich, and they're beautiful and vast. They're also very dangerous. So beware when you go out by yourself. There are things beyond the fires of men that, well, while they play fair, they play by their own rules.
Oh, I have heard many stories from the slave pits as well as many of my servants. There's much in the way of native folklore here. I do not agree with what the Queen is doing to your lands. I believe that we should stay to our own portion of the coastline instead of conquering forward, but that is, I am just a trapper.
I share your sentiment too. You should stay where you are.
Have you heard any tales of a cult possibly that may be operating along your borders?
We have heard many such a thing.
And those who play with the dead?
He kind of lowers his voice to just above a whisper. There are necromancers here. I do understand, yes.
Yes. I've heard of these foul beasts. They love the dead, though I still at this point do not understand what making love to one's neck has to do with the dead.
No, it is a magic of the dead. There is no
Ah,
love involved.
oh, okay. Sorry, a bit of. Sometimes the Nemersian words don't. Well, I am not a native speaker.
Oh, I see.
I speak a more musical language and language much older. But
Romancing on the neck does sound arousing, though.
That gets a chuckle out of him. You are of the fairies. Is that correct? He points to your horns.
Sheehan cocks his head a bit, looks at him out of the corner of his eye, and says, "Maybe."
No, do not lie. We are friendly here.
Oh,
You must take care of your people.
yes.
My kind are attempting to push forward from the south into a great woodland east of here, beyond the river, and from what I understand, rumor has it that is where your people reside.
And Sheehan's eyes go a little hard at that. So they will find only death among those trees.
Oh, I am quite aware. But take care of yourself and take care of your people.
Yes.
He looks up at Blogvir and the same for you, Giant. These are going
You are
to
the
be hard.
first agreeable Atlantean I've met that I didn't want to strangle on sight.
Not all of us are conquerors.
Say, have you seen by chance a woman of my friend Blogvir's here's people around? We're seeking one.
There are many who would look like your friend here. Many of them work the fields, and some of them are servants to the nobles.
Nobles, the commander governor, where does he reside?
Oh, he resides in a villa on the coast, a great castle, a fortress that overlooks the sea.
How far from
Oh,
here?
I say. He looks at his servant. How far? He's about 6 days. He nods. The native nods. About 6 days march.
I just look at Sheehan with like anticipation, eagerness in my eyes, and like, holy fuck, 6 days.
Yes.
You're not far off. No.
Well, Levios, it was a pleasure speaking with you and doing business with you. I have business to attend to with the tailor up the road who sought to get these pelts from us for a mere set of clothing.
Oh, him? Oh, tell him I sent you. He tries to rob the natives of that do not understand this thing called coinage. Just he's a piece of shit.
It is a new concept. We usually just trade in goods.
Yes, that was a hard thing to understand when I first came here.
Yes, it's odd how this cold metal could be equivalent to good food. But he reaches in and gets a small pouch of the bear jerky and says, "Here, enjoy this."
Oh yeah, well thank you. I will be certain to present this pelt to my beautiful wife when I go back to the islands. He throws you both a wink.
Yes.
Make sure to hydrate during your lovemaking.
Yes.
It will be fierce and long, and not only the lovemaking will be. Am I right? And wink at him.
No, he just smiles and nods. Yeah.
And if you bear children, make sure they're not conquerors. Do not send them out to die for lands that are not theirs.
Oh, we do not teach that to our children. No.
Good. That is a good thing. Yeah. For some odd reason, Sheehan now looks a bit nervous, and he says, "Well, we'll take our leave. Thank you, yes."
He gives you a formal bow. Travel safely, my friends.
I'll give him a sweeping bow as well, and bid him farewell. As we walk away, I look over Blogvir and I say, "Do you think the fish's scales will ruin the pelt?"
Not our problem.
Because obviously Sheehan only understands from Blogvir that these Atlanteans have congress with fish. So,
of course.
Just picture going home. It's like, honey, I'm home, and it's just a giant like trout or something, and she's just like, that's my love.
Yeah,
he just drapes her in the fur,
Come on now, you've seen Atlantean women. Come on now.
I know I have, but at the same time, it's like these are people are odd. My friend Blogvir is constantly referring to them as having sex with fish.
Yeah, he's seen Atlantean women. Those are just the offspring of them fucking fish. They can only mate with fish.
Maybe the women mate with like the Mercians or something. I don't know.
And the offspring is always a fish.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
There's no way of knowing,
These are facts until proven otherwise. Okay, these are all
weird.
No, I completely agree. I'm loving this actually.
just like people think ogres eat people all the time. I mean, people can think that Atlanteans only fuck fish. So
yeah, so head back over to the other fellow.
Oh yeah, he just kind of rolls his eyes as you come by.
You gotta like saunter up there though, Sheehan. You gotta like walk up there like, yeah, bitch, I'm back, and
I'm gonna walk up there and I'll walk over to him and I'll say, "Clothing, 3 for 1 set, yes?"
He nods. Yeah, of course.
I look around, I look at what I think maybe the best piece he has. How much for that?
He in broken native tongue, he's like, "Oh, it's about a dozen silver for the tunic."
10.
10.
10.
That's a lot for one tunic.
Yeah, keep in mind you're pointing to the one that has like wave stitch embroidery on the trim. So
this is 10 silver for just one tunic, one shirt, not like the whole set. Just like one shirt.
Yeah,
just the tunic. Just the tunic.
Yeah,
fish fuckers.
Yeah, 10.
13.
That is more. 9.
9.
I just sit back and cross my arms and just let them go
If he's gonna go up, I'll go down.
he crosses his arms. He goes, no.
I'll just go ask Evios to see if he'll sell it to me instead. He has better stuff anyway.
Evios does not sell tunics.
He will be soon.
Fair enough.
That sort of grins at him. 10.
Fine, 10.
Okay. Go over, pop open the coffer so you can see all the silver and gold. Pull out 10 and hand it to him.
His eyes go wide, like, what the fuck? Where'd all that come from? He doesn't say that, but it's okay.
Yeah, I know. Close it. Give him his 10. Take the tunic, and I say, next time, be nice. You might actually sell me more. And I walk off.
As you guys are walking away, Blogvir, make an awareness test quick.
No shit.
Yeah.
Where is my awareness? That's a 19.
You glance over your shoulder, and this tailor, he smirks and says, "Oh, these Fae are crafty, then, huh?" He goes back into his tent.
I just smile. You just keep walking. Kind of like, yeah, good job, Sheehan. Good job. Good. It's in my head. It's like, hey, good job, buddy.
Yes.
So yeah, you have what would be considered upper class clothing now. It's an Atlantean tunic
Okay.
that is not necessarily. Well, you could pass it as formal wear.
Okay. So, Blogvir, should we get you some clothing too, or?
My armor is clothing enough. Although I kind of look at my missing pauldron head with it that was shattered by the troll, I believe. And I could use more armor.
We can find some, I'm sure. So.
I guess we'll just peruse around until we hear the cling of a hammer on anvil or some sort of blacksmithy sound or smells.
There is certainly that sound around.
I guess we just follow the sound until we find its source.
These are Atlantean smiths here, working Atlantean bronze.
I guess we'll go up. I'll go up to the first one I see.
Yeah, he just looks at your knees at first, and he follows your legs all the way up to meet your gaze. Just kind of rocks back on his heels. Huh. Good morning.
Good morning. Do you sell your wares, or are you contracted through the military only?
I'm not contracted, but my wares are generally not for natives when the captain is looking.
That's a good thing he's not looking, right?
No, he's not looking right now, no.
I point to my empty, naked my shoulder. I need a pauldron.
You're huge. I don't have anything your size. It'll take me some days to put that together. I am sorry, friend. He just kind of places his hands in front of him like he's holding a big bag of flour. Like, you're fuck off enormous. That's 4 days. I would love to, but that'll take me a while.
I don't have 4 days. I just look around. Is there anything you can cobble together?
I could.
2 pauldrons combined to 1. I don't know.
I could throw a sheet of scales on that.
No, that'll do. I don't have time to wait.
Yeah. Leave your breastplate with me, and I'll.
All right. I'll start unbuckling it and take it off and hand it to him.
Then you just ka-shunk, the thing falls on the floor. Well, take into consideration, Grant, you weigh a fucking ton, a metric ton.
Literally.
He's maybe 5'8", so...
just crushes him. The armor just crushes him. Poor guy.
Your breastplate's essentially a side table for him. So he's... come back to me this evening, and I'll figure out something. And he's... Sheehan, so your cunning modifier is high enough. You can actually see that he's like he's doing the artisan kind of like, how the fuck am I gonna do this now? Kind of like the gears are turning in his head.
Okay. I'll lean in while he's looking at that and say, how much for a more normal sized shirt of scales?
No, normal? You mean for our troopers or for you?
My size.
Well, that all depends. Let me go find something. He goes in the back of his tent, which is kind of like a closet kind of. It's a canvassed off section of his workspace where he's like a storeroom outside. And you hear him knocking some stuff over and moving things around, like ka-shunky moving things. Actually, like a mannequin, like a big wooden, like an armor stand falls out of the first flat. And he goes, oh shit. he knocks some things over, and then you hear this kashunk, and then something being thrown over like a rack. And he comes out with a coat of bronze scales, and he kicks this fucking stand out of the way. He goes, "All right, here, how about this?" He throws the thing like a sheet over a table, makes this loud metallic clunk, and it is a coat from the shoulder to about the hip of bronze scales pounded into just that, fish scales.
Okay. I'll look at it and sort of give one quick look over about to see how, it's well made, how heavy it is, pick it up. So
it's absolutely much heavier than what you're used to, but there is no small amount of protection here. It's got kind of this high collar that would protect your neck too.
okay.
It's probably less stealthy too. It probably makes a lot of rattle when you move in it.
It'd be kind of heavier for that.
Yeah, Sheehan sort of. Yeah. Do you have apprentices?
I do not. No, I'm not wealthy enough to have my own apprentices.
I have this, and I sort of pull my furs aside to show them the scale, basically old scale shirt that I had for forever that's probably beat to hell. And I was wondering if maybe you've had apprentices, maybe they could repair this for me. That seems a bit too much for me.
No, if you want something smaller.
It's something that would just maybe protect my vitals, but wouldn't be so encumbering.
You want a shirt, not a coat, then?
Yes, a shirt.
Oh, all right. Well, just one moment. He picks the thing up, kind of with this roll of his eyes, like, all right. We don't speak the same language. Of course I brought you the wrong thing. And he goes back into his storeroom. A few moments later, he brings you out a shirt. He throws that over the table.
Okay.
Same style, same material, same scales, much less metal.
Okay. That's much better. How much for this?
Oh, that's 4 gold.
4 gold?
Yes.
And if I were to throw what I have in as a on top of that as the boot, got it for 3.
Your beaten shirt that you have there.
Yes, it's serviceable.
Is that also of the fairies?
Yes.
Huh.
Roll a deception real quick. Oh, I got an 8.
That's the armor that you made at character creation, Keith, right?
It's one of the first pieces of armor I got. I actually got it off of the battlefield when we first slowed the giants. So we're stripping the dead, and I got it off of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Then no, that's an Atlantean shirt.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
No, never mind. He would actually recognize that. He goes, no, that he wouldn't have said that. No, that's yours is beat to hell. No, I'll just give me that, and no, that's fine. I'll 3 gold. That's acceptable.
All right. He'll go over and pull the 3 gold out of his coffer. Is that okay with you, Blogvir? Because this is yours too.
Fine by me. I don't need you dying on me.
Okay. Hand the guy his 3 gold and start shucking out of the armor. In the process, put my new tunic on. And then put the armor on over it.
I'll go to the sled and retrieve my troll sword, and I need a sheath for this.
And again, his eyes go wide. Oh, for God's sake! What are you? Where do you come from? You enormous thing.
My mother's womb.
Where in all of the islands of the world does she come from? We don't have anything as enormous and opulent as your kind from where we come from. We're all just normal sized.
You got a piece of leather or something I can sheath this thing in? Anything. It beats carrying it around.
I could cobble something together for you.
Doesn't need to be the full sheath. I just need to hold it on my back.
No, I can do that. That's yeah.
Good. I'll pick it up when I come back for the breastplate.
Yes, of course. And again, he takes your things and places on the back table of his workspace, and he kind of looks over your gear with this. It's an enthusiastic, like wanting to solve a puzzle look on his face. Is there anything else that you require of me today?
I just look at Sheehan like, is there anything he needs?
He's bouncing up and down with his new shirt, make you see how it actually falls over this really opulent tunic that he put on under it. It's probably ripping threads and messing up embroidery.
Of course it is. It's not something that you want to put under armor.
I don't know. It's a shirt to me. It's pretty, but it's a shirt. So.
But if there's nothing else that you require of him, he's going to go about his business and trying to figure out how he can solve your problem for you.
I will return at night.
Oh, at dusk. Come back at dusk.
Very well. Good luck. I smile at him.
Food, Blogvir. We need food now.
Well, let's follow our nose then.
Yes.
You find local cuisine, mostly trapped like pheasants, quail, deer, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Because eating fish is cannibalism to these guys. You gotta remember that. So.
Not as such. They you will.
Folk would love them. No fish. Okay, that's fine. We'll purchase us a good meal and a good big. Actually, do they have like? I know some places would have like wine, like a half cask of wine.
Yeah, they sell wine here, of course.
Do they get like a tavern or a place where you can sit down and have a meal or something instead of having to live off rations? I mean, we have to wait till nightfall anyways, and it'd be nice to sit down and actually enjoy a meal.
Yeah, they actually have taverns and places like that here.
Okay.
This is like the first civilization we've been to like forever. Living on a boat and shit. Like.
So yeah, I'm just looking for a place that has food. They have these places where you sit down and actually eat it. That's all I. So,
yeah, right. Oh, you just find a rock or just sit on the ground.
Yeah, well, usually you go into these villages and you trade for stuff and they give you food. So, having to, I don't know, watching people actually pay for it is odd.
Yeah, you barbarians are not familiar with the concept of a restaurant.
Yeah, we don't know what's on the menu. Because what the menu is.
Meat's back on the menu, boys.
Yes, it is.
So no, you do indeed find a tavern, an Atlantean run tavern in a village nearby that sells wine, venison, that sort of thing, local stock.
Okay.
A meal will actually run you maybe a handful of silver, maybe 3 or 4 each.
Can I fit in the building? Is it in a building? If not, I'm gonna have to wait outside. I'm too big to get in there.
There's an outdoor kind of like seating area with kind of like this vine lattice work over the top of it that shields it from the sun. That's where you can probably sit.
Definitely, and I will order food like that. I need food.
So one of the serving girls brings you out an ogre portioned plate as well as a normal portioned plate.
What does she look like? Is she like she easy on the eyes?
Oh, for an Atlantean, of course.
Damn Atlanteans.
I'm just sitting there as she's bringing the food out, just sort of looking at her, tilting my head here and there, looking around like the side of her neck, her arms, looking down her legs and her feet.
I just whisper in Feywild, like, it is not nice to stare. Looking for gills.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, lady.
Oh, she's not paying attention at that point.
Okay.
She's
I just
dropped
chuckle.
your shit off and left.
Okay. Yeah. It doesn't look very fishy.
You could get to know her more intimately and find out if you wish. You're already looking the part. Sheehan, the Atlantean noble.
I've had too much things with fish. Way too much things with fish. So, but I'll tear into the food, eat it, and start drinking the wine.
Yeah, quaff down the wine. Just consume all the food. We're barbarians, so we're not posh and high class. We just you know.
You're right.
Yeah, no pinkies up or nothing. We're just eating this shit, dude.
Wipe my face on my sleeve. No.
You guys are sitting alone, thankfully, so
Okay.
no one is looking.
I can just imagine, like, you know, some high posh Atlanteans over there looking at us like, oh my god, look at these filthy barbarians.
Yeah. What a wonderful tunic as he wipes it across his face. It's ruined.
The wine stains all over it, you know.
Oh, yeah.
This is like a venison dripping on it. It's like shit.
So 6 days, Blogvir. 6 more days. And we'll be there.
We still need a plan, though. We can't go barging into probably the most fortified Atlantean establishment. I didn't think this through, but she's there. I know she is.
Well, he leans back a little bit and says, it seems like everything here is for sale. I'm fairly sure I saw a young man selling his mother on the way over here.
I doubt we have enough coin to barter with the commander governor
I don't know.
for
We have
one
a
of his personal slaves.
whole box.
I feel like this isn't a lot, though. I feel like someone in his status would have hundreds and hundreds of gold coins.
Well, he may.
Our paltry son may not even tickle his fancy.
I've
And
never
we
seen
can't
this
take her
like-
by force without dying.
Huh. I wonder how we can get more.
Yeah. From Atlanteans. That's all they trade in.
Yeah. As the serving maid comes back, I'll ask her, how does one get more of these coins?
You work for them, I suppose. You're native, correct?
Yes, in a manner of speaking.
Normally, one takes a job and one is paid in such things for said job.
Well, do you know where I would find these jobs? Or a person who would have these jobs they could give us, and we could do them, and they give us metal?
That would be something that you simply ask around for if anyone has work that needs to be done.
So do you have work that needs to be done?
Not for you, no.
Okay. I'll ask others. I'll go to another table and ask that person if someone, do you have work that needs to be done?
I'm just sitting back drinking, watching him go to get the Atlanteans, asking him, how you get work? I get some coin. Like, I'm just looking at that.
You're kind of met with the same thing. Like, but this is just no.
Go over and flop that down on the table, drink a cup of wine, shake my head. And I said, I'm not sure what we should do, Blogvir. I have no idea. So, anyway, good food, good wine. He reaches into his into one of his pouches and pulls his flute out and starts playing. That's what he typically does after he eats.
You can make coin that way. Be a street player.
That's going to be a 20 on my song. So,
Okay.
Pennies evaporate, men swoon.
Not as such, but they do enjoy you playing.
Okay. After I'm finished, I'll just sort of sit back and enjoy the sun on my face for a few moments without having to worry about being attacked by a bear or, jumped by a enraged fairy widow.
Yet she still may come for you. You're having 2 nights at a time for her. You have to remember her dead husband, so she'll make sure of that.
She may. So. But it's like I can make coin by doing that. How would I do that? I would have no idea. I just play.
These high society people enjoy entertainment. Your flute playing can make you money, maybe.
I wouldn't know how to even do that, but I don't know.
You could go into the tavern owner and ask him if he would pay you to play in his tavern for the night.
Okay. You get up, walk inside, and find the same serving lady and ask her, "Hey, who's the tavern keeper?"
She points out to an older Atlantean man behind the bar.
Okay. I'll walk over to him and say, "Do you speak Nemersian?" Nemersian.
He does.
My friend outside says that you may give me the metal coins if I play a flute for you. Is this a thing?
You play a flute?
Yes.
I do not have any minstrels under my employ, but yeah, certainly. What do you play?
I pull the flute out and start playing. That one is a 16.
All right.
I'll just play a little ditty from back home. So
he points out a kind of a stool in the corner, and he goes, "Well, you go sit on that and play a while, and I'll bring you a wine, and you play for my guests."
Okay. I'll go over and sit down and start playing. So.
Does Sheehan? I mean, Sheehan is he's of the fairies, of course. The fair folk actually have something similar to this at home.
Okay.
You're familiar with a minstrel that plays for a group of people in public areas, and it's referred to as a minstrel or a bard.
Okay.
So this is it might be interesting that these Atlanteans have something similar in their society to you. But after a while, the tavern keeper brings over a small jar of honey to sit next to you, as well as a cup and a pitcher of the same honeyed wine. He goes, how long do you plan on staying here?
Just tonight.
Oh, just the night? All right.
Yes.
Well, if you play until sundown, I will have some coin for you.
That I can do. So I need to let my friend know what I'm doing, though. He's outside.
Why is he outside? To bring him in.
If you wish, I go to the door. Blogvir, he says you can come in.
You hear the deep bellowing laughter. I get up and I try to squeeze in. I try to get in there.
You got to sneak through the doorway, but you can get in there.
Oh, bring the box too.
All right, I bring it in with me. Do I gotta like stoop down to even like just stand in here? Like my head touch the ceiling?
Yeah, your head will in fact touch the ceiling. Yeah, so you'll have
so
to like scrunch your neck down to actually. If you sit on the floor, you'll actually sit comfortably.
All right.
Did he bring me any bread for the honey, or just the honey?
No, he brought you the honey for your voice.
Oh, okay. I'll take a bit of the honey and mix it in with a little bit of the mead and take a drink, and then I'll play one more flute song. Then I'll launch into a song in Feywise. The one about the actually, I'll sing the poem about the stag and the dragon. When I knew from as a child. That's going to be an 18 for that.
Oh, beautiful. Wonderfully done. As you are working your song, are you trying to do anything with it?
What do you mean?
It's like maybe a sense of like an emotion or some kind of response you're trying to get out of this music, because as you're playing, Sheehan will remember from his youth
Mhm.
that there are some minstrels and troubadours in the world who can elicit an emotional reaction or possibly weave sorcery into their song.
No, he'll be thinking as when he's never really thought about using song to. Well, he's always sang and performed for himself and his companions. He's never really thought about doing that with a larger group like that.
Okay.
So if it is, it's inadvertent.
Okay.
Um,
I am going to actually build you a random table for this sort of thing. Let's see what
Yeah.
your song gets you. Ooh, all right, here. This song. Describe the song for us. Let's see. Oh, well.
Well, the song is a story about a maid who is she's not happy at home. She's being forced by her father to marry a man that she does not love,
Mhm.
and the man that she does love, her mother had cursed, so that he had grown hideous and wandered out into the forest. And they, the story is sort of a back and forth between part of his story and her story, and how he evolves over time because of this curse into a fearsome beast that resembles a dragon. And she, in her sorrow and pining for her true love, um, calls upon the great lord of the forest, the king himself, to rescue her and take her away. And he comes in the night, his glowing rack of horns, like crystallized trees in the moonlight, and he grants her wish and turns her into a great deer. And she bounds off into the forest as part of his herd. But then she still, even though in the form of a deer, pines for her love, until one day she finds him in the forest in a cave where he is sitting and eating over a recent kill of a warrior who's come to slay him. Upon laying eyes upon him, she immediately turns back to her more natural fae form, and he sees her, but his love has turned to hate for those who separated them, and it's polluted his mind, and he all but lunges forward, his poison fangs lunging for her throat, and she cries out, and he is met not by her throat, by the wrath of this great stag himself, who throws this dragon back against the mountain and stands over the poor girl. And that's when she is revealed that this man who she thought for a long was her true love truly was a very venal and horrible being, and that her father and mother knew this. And she sees this, and though it breaks her heart, she turns her back upon him, and he flies off into the night as she turns back into a doe and princes back into the forest. And this is how he believed the first dragon may have come about in the great forest. And then years and years later, this beast was slain by her very own nephew. And as he changed back into his human form, into his fae form, his body spit upon this spear. The last thing upon his lips was her name. For though he was broken, he still was one who loved.
Huh.
Yeah.
That is quite beautiful, actually. You a couple of the Atlantean ladies just kind of let out this sigh. They are rather taken by this tale, and some of the men just they nod. They raise their glasses, and a couple of them say, "To the Forest King."
The Forest King, I say in Fey-wise.
This great deer in the woodlands. Oh, a mighty thing. We do not have such gods where we come from. This is beautiful thing. These enchanted lands that we now live in.
Yes, sir.
Blogvir sitting in the corner, and he told them to bring him honey, the honey wine, and just keep bringing it to him. He's just drinking in the corner.
They keep it going. They keep bringing it, and if Blogvir has an empty glass, it is filled. It's not empty for very long.
I mean, he's gonna keep drinking. He's not gonna drink until he passes out. He needs to get his armor and everything, but he's drinking. He is drinking.
Now, okay, so several hours pass. If you guys stay here, it's you guys are going to be playing. How long is a set for Sheehan? Like
I would say probably no more than about 45 minutes or so, and then we have to take a bit of a break, let his voice, and his lungs rest a bit. So I would say 4 sets, maybe at most.
Okay.
After that, we'll start getting,
Sets,
this
is not a concert.
Right. Yeah. This is like just do it 45 minutes, take a break. Make sure my vocal cords are lubricated properly. Then go back and do another. And it'll probably be mostly flute playing with maybe 1 or 2 songs intermixed that I've seen. So.
One of the serving girls. Actually, the serving girl from before brings you out a lyre.
Huh.
She goes, well, the master of the house said to bring you this. It's old. It's an old thing, but you can have this if you wish to take it. If you wish to play it. It's an old one.
Okay, I'll look at it, and I haven't seen one in quite a while, so I have to do a song check to see if I even know how to play one. Yeah, I do. So apparently I rolled a 22. So yeah, kind of how these things work.
Obviously it's an Atlantean make, so the shape of it is going to be much different than what you're used to. But it's still, a lyre is a lyre. So
okay. Well, I'll tune it to my ear, which may be a bit off for Atlanteans.
It will be.
And I'll basically, once I get the feel of it, I'll launch into a song on it.
The serving girl will bring over kind of a they have maybe a bunch of venison, like deer pelts for Blogvir. Since he's sitting on the hard floor now, they bring him over something to make him a little bit more comfortable, because they now know that you're with Sheehan. So
I'll thank them. My speech is slurred. I kind of just will lean forward a little bit and stuff it behind me and underneath me as I lean in the corner. Just keep drinking this honey wine, basically mead. Just start drinking.
You are. It's been, we'll say, I was about 4 hours here, so it's just after noon. We'll say maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay. I'll finish my set and take a break. Tell him it'll be a bit before I come back out again. I have to let my voice rest a bit. But thank you very much for letting me do this. Walk over to Blogvir and say, "You need to eat some bread."
Bread? Why?
Because otherwise you're going to be drunk and we can't go get your armor.
I've only had. He looked at my coat. I've had
a barrel.
Counting on my fingers, I've had some.
Yes, you have.
Fine, mother. I'll eat some bread. I'll try to get up, and I'll kind of stumble, fall back down, and maybe make it like a toe to my thud. Hold on.
Stay there. Don't break the inn.
Very well.
The tavern keeper says, "Bring the giant some bread. He's just, or bring him a mattress he can use as a pillow and lay down there."
Yeah, so I'll get ask for a bit of something to eat too, maybe bread and some whatever they happen to have.
Oh yeah, you're working, so you're eating for free technically.
Okay. So I'll sit down, have that, have a bit more of the mead. I'm sure the mead's pretty good. I don't know if I ever had mead.
It's the Atlanteans make their wine sweeter than what you're familiar with.
Okay. So I'm probably a little sweet. So, but I'll
It's
I'll
like
do that. And,
alcoholic sweet tea.
yeah, I know.
Mm-mm.
Oh, real meat is so far beyond that.
I never had real meat. I want to try it some.
It's like drinking. Well, it's really sweet. I'll just put it that way. It's really sweet. So,
That's why the Vikings are so fervent about theirs. Hum nom
yeah,
nom
yeah. So,
but yeah, so you take a break for maybe like a couple hours yet, and closer to that afternoon, you get back up there, and the bar. Word gets around that there's a minstrel, a fey minstrel, working at the tavern, and there are more people coming in for that evening. So we'll say that the tavern itself has quite a bit of merriment in it at that evening. It's not jam packed, and the wait staff is like just being held down and fucked for hours. Like, so it's so damn busy, but it's hopping. Let's put it that way.
There's also a drunk, giant, soldier over there that people want to talk to.
that's a novel,
that could bring in people. Come see the drunk giant ogre. 2 silver entry. Like, we could be making bank.
Yeah, no, Blogvir's having a grand old time. Make a conditioning check for us, please.
All right, let's see this. Oh, this is going to end nicely. Okay, that's a 2. That's a 2 and a 1.
Oh, no!
Oh my god!
So, hold on.
You been drinking all day since like, oh my god, like 11.
That's 20. It's 22.
Fuck.
That's a 22.
Oh my lord.
Oh Lord.
You do take a -8 penalty because you've been drinking all day.
Yeah. So,
even still, with that amazing roll, you do in fact fail.
Oh shit.
okay.
So you're able to keep it together for hours, right up until sundown, where you're just like, nope, all the alcohol hits your veins at once, and nope, we're done.
Okay.
Absolutely shit-faced.
Okay. Okay. Well, my evening song set is a 15, so not quite as good as it was earlier in the day, but
Of course.
I'm still sort of getting used to this lyre, and I'm not really used to singing with a lyre yet. So,
and plus, you've been singing all day, so your voice is kind of going a little bit. So,
yeah, the honey helps though. So I'll do that until I won't necessarily sing late into the evening, but since Blogvir is already passed out, I will though ask the barmaid if there's someone that I could have a message sent if they have like a boy or someone who could send a message for me.
Oh yeah, they have one of those. They have
Okay. I'll ask him to take a message for me to the armorer. I describe where he's at, and tell him that the giant will be in the morning because the giant drank too much. So.
Well, that'll work. Yeah.
Okay. So that way he knows that he's not that the guy we are coming back. So. So. Okay. Yeah, so I'll finish my setup and I'll ask if they mind if Blogvir sleeps on the floor tonight, and I'll just curl up over in the corner. Get shelter.
Yeah. So that evening, once the bar finally closes, you are given a small bag of 15 silver for your day's work.
Okay. Add it to my box. So just basically open the box, pour it in.
Okay. So we will actually fast forward to that next evening.
Okay.
Actually, excuse me, that next morning. Blogvir will be thoroughly hungover. Explain to us, when was the last time that Blogvir got that drunk?
Oh God. When was the last time you got that drunk?
Top 5. No, that would be top 3 most inebriated times of his life, we'll say.
I think the last time he came close was maybe celebrating after the battle of the cult when they killed the giants and everything. Maybe even then, probably, I don't know. It might have been the only thing that got this close is when he drowned his sorrows when Kaya was kidnapped and such, and he just started drinking himself to a stupor. Tried to kill himself by drinking. That didn't work out too well. But this one, he drank more here than he did there, so he can't remember a lot. Lots hazy, especially right now. And everything won't stop moving, and there's 2 of everything, and his bladder is about to explode. He might piss himself. So he's in the morning. He's going to crawl on his hands and knees out the front door, and then try to pull his dick out and hope not pee his pants and everything, and actually just pee on the ground like a fucking dog or something. He can't even get up.
You find a ditch out back that you turn into a small stream.
He kind of sounds like a sick, wounded animal out there, like just relieving himself, like on all fours, like just trying not to pee on himself, hanging into the ditch, like there's anaconda slipping into the ditch, like vomiting. It would look like he's just sitting there trying to maintain his composure.
Wonderful.
And then he hears a scream from inside the tavern.
Even in his state, he's like, "Oh yeah, man, Sheehan's up."
Yeah.
As the Fey Widow haunts you again.
Yes. Wake up screaming. Probably screw the hell out of the tavern keeper if he's up yet.
At this point in your dreams, that she's kind of like come to you as the nights go on. Every time she visits you, she becomes more and more ghastly. Like by now, she's like that thing coming out of the TV in The Ring.
Yes.
And she like crawls towards you, and just as she's about to claw at you is when you wake up.
Okay, wake up, look around,
and no, you smell. Oh, what was that smell? A river, a mossy, peaty.
I didn't think we were close to a river.
Nope. You're not.
I'll get up, get my clothes on. Where's Blogvir?
About that time, you hear the sick, wounded animals like keening from outside as he's up in a ditch.
Someone having congress with a goat? You know, walk out to sea and see him sitting there and like, lean back. Oh, that's where the river smell comes from.
No, ogre urine does not smell like a river. No.
No, it's horrible.
It's perfume. It's used by perfume in the high society.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice musk, you know.
I'll wave my hand in front of my face and say, Blogvir.
Who's that? What?
You did drink too much.
I squint my eyes and turn around and squint my eyes. I'm still like on all fours. I'm like, I just now rolled my dick back up in my pants, and I'm just sitting there at the edge of the ditch, and I just look at you, and I'm just, when did you have a twin? Stop moving so much. It's too early for this.
Do you know where your armor is?
Look down. I'm wearing it. Oh yeah. We gotta go get the armor, right? That's good. Yes. I just start crawling. I start crawling back to Sheehan.
I walk back inside and go into the. Do they have a well out here, or they have like a cistern inside with water?
Not inside. No, there's
Okay.
a well in the town square.
Okay, I'll go find a bucket and go over to town square and draw some water. Walk back and tell Blogvir, no, stay back, stay outside for a moment. And
I just kind of lay on the ground, just like face first, like just lay there, like
And when I come back, I say, Blogvir, to get your attention, so you'll look up, then douse you with the water.
Oh.
Better?
It's getting there. Do it again.
Do it again. Go get some more water, come back, do it again.
Okay. Now, I just need to get off the ground. If it'll stop moving. Why is it moving so much? Stop moving, damn you.
Because you drank so much, my friend.
Well, they didn't make it taste so damn good. Those bastards, they're trying to kill me.
No.
I guess I'll like crawl to like a building and try to lean against it for support and crawl up and like stand up without hopefully knocking the building down.
No, it's sturdy. Don't worry.
It'll just take a minute just standing there to compose myself and just like one foot in front of the other, get my footing, and just stand up straight and kind of straighten myself up a little bit, Okay, I think I'm good now. Let's get our wares. Yes.
Yes, I think we should. Okay. So go around and try to figure out where the sled wound up being left at.
You left it back at the I suppose the armorer, actually.
Oh yeah. So I guess
we've been robbed.
There's anything left of it.
No, it hasn't been touched.
Okay.
You assume that anyone walking by assumed that it belonged to the outfitter.
Okay.
Part of the plan all along, guys. Not part of the plan.
So I have the box under my arm, carrying it along.
I'm using my war club as a fucking walking stick at this point right now, just until I can get my bearings. Because it is, Blogvir has not been this hungover. He can't remember the last time. It's bad. He feels like he's dying, and dying would be preferable to what he's feeling right now. So, as baby steps, as he's like leaning heavily across, and it's like an old babushka, like just bent with arthritis, just walking, just slowly, trying not to fall over.
I will say this: one of the worst hangovers I've ever had was on mead. So yes.
Oh my!
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna get some mead. I'm gonna drink until I die. So. I gotta try.
So, when Blogvir finally does die of alcohol poisoning, he will find in the afterlife that the alcohol is so potent, the afterlife is spinning too.
He's doomed to an eternity of spinning. He can't stand up. He's just spinning constantly.
That would be a terrible punishment in hell for an alcoholic.
Just vertigo, constantly spinning all around, but you're so nauseous, but you never throw up, and you're just sitting there. Oh,
yeah, it's horrible. Yes,
and your whole body's like a Mack truck ran over you 4 times.
So the outfitter comes out of his tent, just right next door to the storeroom. And he sees the state that Blogvir is in. He has this big shit-eating grin on his face. He goes, good morning.
What are you two talking about? Is I squint. I mean, one of you, just one. There's one of you.
Yeah, there's only one of us here.
Yes.
He looks at Sheehan and says, so did he in fact drain the ocean? Is there an Atlantis to come back to? Is there indeed a mountain where Atlantis was once an island? He's laying it on with sarcastic asshole.
Sheehan just sort of smiles and says, I can't say he drank the entire ocean, but I can say that it may be a while before the tavern down the road has meat again.
Oh, sad day.
There's a ditch. Well, there used to be a ditch. There's a small river over there now. Probably stay away from that. That's not a border.
I smell you before you came. Do not question.
It's your damn fault with your honey beverages. Get me.
Oh, a honeyed wine. Our plants for growing said wine takes very well to your soil here on the mainland. It's much sweeter and much more flavorful here than it is on the islands. I will tell you that. So
I have to say, that's the best and only thing Atlanteans have done in this world, I imagine. Oh, it's so good, but oh, it's so bad too. Why? Why does someone cave my head in? Please kill me now.
I do not have a customer to sell this ogre armor to. You must not die, and you must take it away now.
Okay, I hobble over there with my makeshift crutches, and I inspect it. I gotta put my eyes and I focus. Rub my eyes, I focus. I'm focused now. I gotta make sure that this is quality stuff. I can't get gypped out of a fucking deal here. So I'm kind of trying to sober up and look at it and see the work you did on it.
Clearly, a master has riveted the sheet of scales where your bare shoulder would be. He goes on to explain that coat that he tried selling you yesterday was rendered down into the sleeve of the armor now.
That is fine work. And what of the sheath?
The sheath, full length there, is laying next to the armor.
Oh, yeah, you did good work. Very good work. How much do we owe you?
Nothing, actually. This was more fun to me than anything. I've never worked with oversized implements before. Just take it and be gone.
All right, I'm not going to argue with you. I stand up and I try to take my weight off the club, and kind of sit it over there. I'm kind of standing there.
And Blogvir topples.
Yeah, and that's an earthquake. Like
into a large pile of armor, which makes a very, very, very loud noise.
Oh God, no! I can't afford to replace that. I just fall backwards onto the ground. I don't want to break this. Break this entire man's armament supply and have to be indebted to him for the rest of eternity to pay it off.
No, he just laughs at you. He goes, "You drink like a devil, friend. You need to not. You must."
Sheehan, we're under attack. The world. They're making the world spin. Who makes it spin like this? Devil magic. Oh, clear my head, Sheehan.
Okay. Sheehan's going to go and see if there's anyone around here who happens to have fresh eggs.
There is not. They do not have fresh eggs.
Interesting. Oh darn, that's one way.
Hair of the dog.
In that case, I will look and see if anyone by chance has any willow bark for sale.
They have willow bark.
Okay. I'll get some of that, and I will get some. Go and try and find just some basic cheap wine.
Okay.
And I'm going to sit there and I'm sure are there any like street vendors that are cooking food and such at the moment? Like people like selling little bits of this or that.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
I'll go over and I will ask one of the fellows politely if I might use his fire for a few moments.
He lets you, of course.
Yeah, I'll heat up the wine, put the willow bark, or basically break the willow bark up and drop it in, let it steep for a moment or two, and take it back and say, "Here, drink this."
And the whole time you're doing that, you just hear me screaming your name like, "Help! Get reinforcements! There's magic afoot. It won't stop spinning."
And for that, that's a 15 on my apothecary.
All right.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you didn't poison me, so that's good. Hopefully.
No, actually, no. A really good hangover is mulled wine with a little bit of aspirin dissolved in it.
There you go.
I've actually used that on myself.
I heard asparagus is good too. So
yes.
I haven't tried that though.
I've heard that.
I try to take. I'm like, well, damn it, stop moving. Let me have it.
Okay. Put your hand down. I'll hold it up to his lips and pour it into his mouth.
I just started drinking, just lapping it up.
So
the armor is very amused by this whole thing. You guys are the sideshow that has made his day.
Mm-hmm.
I just grab Sheehan by whatever I can. Sheehan, do you hear? They laugh at me. These devil demons. My head is spinning. This is it for me, Sheehan. Carry on my legacy. I just lay back on the ground.
You'll survive.
You're not dead, the armorer says. You're not going to die. You're just drunk.
God, did you hear that? Now they're not going to kill me. They're going to torment me for all eternity.
Sheehan just shake his head and sort of laugh and look at the armor and say, "I'll find a place for him to rest this off. Thank you very much for your assistance with the armor." He'll drag the armor over onto the sled, making all the wonderful noise along the way.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then slowly say, "Come on, let's go to the edge of town so you can have somewhere to sleep and not impede these people's walking."
All right, I can crawl over to my club and use it to get back on my feet. Then I begin. I wouldn't call it walking, more as in like a small little shuffle to the outskirts of town.
So yeah, go to the southern side, and step off the side of the road a bit, and Sheehan will sit there and sort of he'll say, "Okay, stay here for a moment. I'm going to go back into town and get some bread and such for the road."
I'll just sit here. I just lay up against a tree or a rock or something and just sit there. Close my eyes so it stops spinning.
He puts
take out that tree.
Yeah, he puts the coffer in Blogvir's lap, takes out a handful of the silver, maybe 2 of the gold, and heads back into the little village to just get some bread and traveling type stuff, bread, nuts, possibly some grain.
Oh yeah, you can take you can buy all that for maybe half of what you brought.
Okay. And then just a little. Do they by chance have? Probably needs a new whetstone. I'm assuming. So they have whetstones I can find.
A whetstone will be expensive. That'll cost you a gold.
Go ahead and get one because we need it. We definitely need it. So.
All right, tally off your coinage.
Okay, that gives me
your price from before is in the chat as well.
Okay. All right.
We'll take a 5-minute break here.
Okay, that'll work. See you in a little bit.
All right.
See you then. I'm back.
Sweet.
Me too.
All right, perfect. So, this next scene will actually go into the recent past as the stage lights close. The curtains open to see an Atlantean villa. And we see a not unfamiliar an ogre woman who has recently been pressed into service by the Atlantean occupiers. She has recently been sold to a particular captain of a great red ship. This Atlantean goes by the name of Myos, Captain Myos of the Vermilion Radiance. It is commonly, well, he would be, Myos to the Atlanteans would be more like Achilles to our Mycenaean Greeks. One of their greatest naval captains and one of their greatest warriors. She has been, this ogress has been sold to him as part of his harem, we'll say. Myos has never seen an ogre woman before, and Kea is indeed very beautiful for the ogre race. She is brought to a kind of a waiting chamber to be inspected by this Myos, and he comes in. Myos is quite an impressive specimen when it comes to Atlanteans. He has that fair skin tone that all Atlanteans have, but it's slightly blue in tint, and his hair is actually green, but it is so dark it's black. But if you were to hold up like a stick of charcoal against his hair, you would see the distinct dark forest green of his hair. And he looks upon her not in the way that you would expect a new girl to be added to some corrupt nobleman's harem. You would expect this nobleman his eyes to be searching her hungrily, but Myos is more curious than anything else. Myos is not like other Atlanteans. It is said that he is the offspring of the god, the crushing depths, and a priestess, this high priestess of the Atlantean goddess, Isora. She's the goddess of morality and temperance. Interestingly enough, the kindness and compassion of this religion and Myos' mortal mother has seeped into his own being. And he comes down this dais to look upon her. He is clad in linens and a silk-like fabric that is dyed the different shades of red. His red is a fitting color for him. She instinctively lowers her eyes as if she's going to be taken advantage of, and Myos kind of circles around her, taking her features in, but he does not touch her. He goes and sits on a bench nearby, and he says, "Tell me your name, my dear." And she kind of with a mousy voice, she goes, "My name is Kea." He goes, I see. That is an interesting and beautiful name for my ears. I have never seen such a woman as yourself. Your people are ogres? He asks. She nods. He just crosses his legs and kind of leans back on this bench. Where are you from? He goes, I hail from a forest that is north and west of here. As I see. Do you miss your home? He says. Well, I miss my home very much. But you have been a slave since we had come here. She nods, yes. And then Kea kind of just looks like she dares to look up at him. Well, she's an ogre. She looks up, but over and down at him as she is much taller than he is. She said, I am to be a harem girl for you. Do you treat all of your concubines with these odd questions? So we find out that Kea is not a stupid girl. She's actually quite witty. And Myos smiles. Yes, it is known that I have a vast harem, but I do not treat them as concubines or whores in a whorehouse. They are ladies that... He takes a long pause. As you do not know the ways of Atlantean courtship, do you? She shakes her head. No, of course not. He explains that women to Atlanteans are indeed sacred, and all of their leading and administrative positions and roles are in fact held by women. In their culture, that women are better leaders, men are better fighters and laborers, which kind of draws an odd look from Kea, and she just looks around at the room. She says, and the men did this? Who built this place? Yes. This is not like he uses these air quotes, women's work. This is not the same as the mortal term. She's She kind of relaxes a bit. She says, then if I'm going to be part of your harem, then what am I doing? You just stay there and I feed you. That's it. She very suspiciously looks at him and says, really? Yes, that's about it. She's a little bit flabbergasted. She says, I have heard of other nobles treating their concubines terribly, and like he says, I am not such things. I am not that way. He goes on and he presses her a little bit. Were you married when you were taken? She was very sorrowful look in her eyes. No, I was to be once, but that seems a lifetime ago. Oh, then I am sorry that your road to come to my home was to take you away from your mate. Is she, what was this mate? She goes, he was an ogre warrior amongst our people, and he had gone to fight in this war, but our village was attacked and I was taken. Mayo says, do you think he's still around? She goes, I hope that he is. Mayos stands and says, if he is indeed still with us, then I hope that he means to return to you. If he was to do such a thing, I would certainly not stand in the way of two individuals who are bound together with love, as you two clearly are. That is unsacred and unclean amongst our people. I hope that he does come for you. In the meantime, that I suggest you make yourself comfortable in hopes that he does indeed return. At that point, the stage curtains will close. 3 days have indeed passed since we had last seen our raiding party. They are now on the road, headed for the coastline, and they stumble upon a great encampment. These Nemersian huts made of furs and bent reeds, tents not unlike the ones that you had left so many months ago. A handful of ogres, a handful of fair folk, mostly Nemersians, and maybe 1 or 3 Atlanteans in amongst this village. Kind of a hopeful gasp finds its way on Sheehan's lips. Excuse me. Can't talk tonight. As Sheehan takes the floor.
Looks around at these people, these few individuals, and looks at the Blogvir and says, I feel like things just occurred. Home. Desolation, horror. I don't know. I don't know. Sheehan doesn't really know what to think at this point with this. It's things have really never changed for him. The people that he grew up with have always been the same. The trees have always even been the same. Yes, they grow slightly each year and such, but they're always the same tree, the same place, the same people, the same faces. And since he had been removed from here at one point, he always thought to himself, this would still be. It would still be the same. It would always be exactly what he had left. And one day he would go back. But the idea that it wouldn't be there anymore, that not only would those trees not be there, not only that his family and friends, the places that he sought refuge at, the Grove, might not be there. His heart breaks. Fae aren't meant for change. They're meant to be a steady thing that goes on forever, it seems, until one day they go to one place and remain there. Change is not good for Fae. It could be the death of them.
Off to the side, you see the familiar face of the chiefess Mara, that mortal woman who just seemed so powerful, yet so fragile. The last time you saw her, she was very pregnant. and she's since lost that baby weight, and she has strapped to her back, like tied up, and sidebar, I can't remember what this is called, but when you tie a kid to your back or to your front with a bunch of towels or rags,
Like a papoose or something?
not a papoose, but like a
Yeah,
bag.
I
Some
know
of
what you're talking about.
okay, some of the girls watching this are like, it's this thing. I can't think of it right now.
Wait, girls watch this? Wait, what?
There's a few. I know there's a
I'm
few.
on here. Of course they do.
Oh, oh,
Oh shit, Keith, right there. There we go.
stud. Oh,
But
so no, she's actually oh god, she's got a loom in front of her, a primitive loom, and she's got this kid on her back, and those fertility and protection runes that were painted on her belly are now faded, but you see her, she's there, and you're like, oh gods, what? I'm gonna leave that
yes,
over to you.
he walks over to her and leans down, looks at the in the end of the face of the babe on her back, and you know, says, "Are you well?"
She turns and a little bit startled at first, and she smiles real big, and she goes, I am very well. And she comes over, she actually gives you a real big hug, actually.
Okay, hug your back and say, "We were worried for you and for all the people. We've been following the trail and thought that you had been taken against your will."
Oh no, no. They no, these Atlanteans can try. And she pats the broadsword on her hip. No, we have carved out a portion of their lands for us, and no, these may be occupied lands, but no, this stretch of valley is mine.
Good. I'm glad you found a place. You and all the rest.
It's much quieter here. It's almost as if the Reapers and the demons and the Reaper King are afraid to come across this river. And I don't truly wish to give the credit to the Atlanteans, but I am reaping the benefits of our situation currently.
I can understand that, but eventually that he will come. And he looks sort of almost a bit of trepidation in his eyes at the baby on her back. And I fear what will happen when he does.
We'll see. Nashimara did not return with you, so I feel that, did the road finally take her? Is she finally gone?
I believe so, yes. It's sad. It is, yes. It did take her. Although she died nobly.
I heard rumors from a while back that Skarnir had passed through. He said that his aunt had sated the demon for a time while the rest of you escaped.
Yes, she did. He reaches into his pouch, fumbles around a bit, and pulls out a bundle, unwraps it, and it was her knife. He hands it to her. Here, this was the last thing that I had of hers. I did have her good knife. Unfortunately, that had to go to another. But this should go to you and to your people.
Skarnir said that the ebon one that she once had is somewhere in that swamp.
Yes, it is.
Are you to stay with us now, or are you
For a moment, maybe for a night, but Blogvir is seeking his love, and
And
she
then
is.
Blogvir will come up there pulling the sled. Yeah, he wasn't there yet. He's been pulling the sled up behind him, so he'll come up there now.
You two have not met, so yeah, she regards Blogvir.
I'll introduce him. So he is one that we encountered upon the road. He's been my firm companion since then.
Nice to meet you.
I hear that you're hunting after a sweetheart of yours. Is she here in these lands? I hope that she's well.
She is being held by the commander governor. Another 3 days march to the south.
Well, I'm told that he resides on the coast, which is just, a handful more days and you're there. You can almost smell the sea salt from here.
Yes, that would be an interesting thing to smell. I have heard that the larger waters can't be drank.
No, that's it. It's unclean.
But would we prevail upon you to give us hospitality for the evening?
Of course, whenever you need. No, it is not an issue.
Thank you. So, what did you name the little one?
Well, we named her after the babushka.
He leans over and sort of smiles at the little baby and says, "Hello, future babushka."
She just stares at you with those emerald green eyes she came out of the womb with.
Blogvir will go over there and lean down and do coochie 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 coo.
Yeah, she just a little scared of you, but doesn't do it. Doesn't cry or doesn't do anything.
Okay, I'll then help Blogvir unload the stuff for the sled and get us a little place to bed down for the evening, and just basically spend the sort of get those who are interested around us sort of tell the tale of what happened to their babushka and what's been going on since, what we found so far.
They give you plenty of willing ears to listen.
Okay.
You've not seen this group of people in quite some time, quite literally.
Yeah, it's been a while. So I said, just I'll be, as I said, telling it will be quite a bit of a tale, I'm sure. So it'll take
oh yeah, no, you'll go late into the evening until you're done
easily. So, and then of course, once I tell him to the point where I get to the point where Blogvir's there, I'll let him tell part of the tale. So the things of the slaying of the mighty giants with the other tribe that we wound up associating with eventually, and the great battles we've both been involved in. The great battle on the bridge, I'm sure it'll probably be told in great detail. So
they're actually quite fearful of Arborians. Their folktales mostly focus on the Arborians being across the river and their young men and women disappearing across the river.
Well, I will make sure and weave into the story that the reason why the Arborians did not cause us any harm was because we have I was with a great ogre, and they fear us fair folk. So they are distant cousins of ours.
Okay.
So
we'll see. We'll see the party again that next morning, and I'll have you guys reduce one of your shadow points by
Okay.
one, as you guys have finally found like a measure of comfort here.
Yay.
That being said, dawn the next day, you're back out on the road.
Yes. So it's a heartrending thing to leave them. So as I said, the Fae tend to stick to their own environs so much that it's, the intimate knowledge of the forest isn't so much the fact that they are, they have this kind of mystical ability. Is that literally they tend to walk the same path each day and do the same things over and over again because it's a comfort. And just seeing that reminded him once again of back of the days when he did that, and that it comes to mind that the Atlanteans, the one fellow that he'd spoken to, Evios, had said that the Atlanteans might be moving into the forest soon. And he starts thinking something in the back of his mind that maybe he needs to get back to his people and warn them, even though there may be a penalty for him going back before his horns are fully regrown. After Blogvir's his love is retrieved, maybe on the way back north to deal with this cult, we'll drop by his old homelands and at least give them the warning.
If Sheehan would like a brief soliloquy as you guys are leaving, that's perfectly fine before we go into the next scene.
Oh, well, that was my soliloquy.
Oh, that was that was your soliloquy then. Excellent.
Yeah.
We'll fast forward for a couple days here, and you're now down on that coastal region. Sheehan in particular has never seen what would be a proper city. The Fairfolk back home have, of course, they have treetop villages and towns in the branches, but they don't have cities.
Right.
Many, maybe quite a few dozen villages that are very close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe close to 60,000 population spread out over a few dozen miles, but no actual walled cities. You are now looking upon a metropolis.
Oof.
The smells of bodies and the sea and just this vast white stone that just encircles this mass of homes and administrative buildings. It is almost, you're almost on another plane of existence, another world entirely.
Mm-hmm. Do a little something here real quick to give you some guidance. I'm going to do a spirit check to see how he reacts to this. Okay, so
All right.
it's a 13, so he's not utterly terrified of it, but he's definitely uneasy.
No, it is unsettling, but he's able to hold it together just barely.
Okay.
And you see ships. Well, let me see. Is Sheehan's not? He's never seen the ocean, has he?
No, this is the first time he's seen the ocean, and there's a lot of things that are first for him right now.
Okay. Now, has Blogvir actually seen the ocean before?
He has, but it wasn't like he could stop and admire it. It was on the battlefield, so he's been there before. The smell is familiar, but he hadn't actually been able to stop and look out at it and take it in all its glory.
I'm going to give you both a few moments to kind of narrate what you say to each other, what this sight and this vastness of the southern sea brings to you. Let's hear it.
Sheehan's eyes are darting everywhere, looking at different things that he's never seen. The smells assaulting his nose are definitely not pleasant. You get that many bodies together in one place, it creates a unique stink. But the freshening breeze from the ocean tickles his nostrils with the salt and blows in his hair, and the feel of the air is always different near the ocean. And his eyes go up to this horizon that just disappears off in the distance. There's nothing but water. He gets a bit of a fear about that, because seeing that much water is, it's unsettling for the first time. And he looks at Blogvir and he says, "Where do they find food in there?"
In the ocean, there's fish.
So how would you find fish in the ocean? I mean, I can understand how you would find them in a pond, and fish in ponds are smaller than in rivers. They're slightly bigger. I don't want to imagine the size of the fish in that.
There are things down there I'd rather not think about. Imagine beings older than time itself, and size of I don't even know what. I'm no fisherman. I imagine they use nets of some sort, or big, long, I don't know, spears, harpoons. I know not. But I know that they do gather sustenance from the ocean.
You see about 12.5 sailing ships out there.
Okay.
Kind of gliding beautifully on the waves there.
And those boats, I can't see anyone on them.
They are far away, but those boats are big enough that they have under deck. There's a compartment. The ship is hollow on the inside, and living quarters and storage and ship of that caliber. They house the crew. It is basically a floating home to some.
So it's a hut on the water?
Yeah.
How does it not sink?
I don't know. Magic. I don't know. Oh. I don't build the things. Never been on one, but I've seen them. I've seen Atlanteans pour out of them, like some corrupted mother giving birth, that they just spawn out of the inside of the womb of these ships. Spears and magic.
Yeah, I can't see how one can build something the size of a hut on the water and the bottom not, but it's moving, so I can't see how it does that. Does it slide across the bottom?
We could always ask the Atlanteans.
I think I will when I find one that will speak with me.
Blogvir is actually going to walk towards the ocean, like towards the shoreline.
It'll be a good couple hours. You guys are kind of like standing on the highland looking out over this city and looking down into the ocean. So you can find a kind of a sandy path through the tall grass that gets you down onto the beach, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I need to do. Come on, Sheehan. This is your first time here. You need to experience the ocean proper. That's kind of chuckle.
Okay. So you go down, and of course, as soon as I get down at the bottom, I'm looking at the sand, and I'm used to sand along the edge of rivers and such, and it being this is it's a finer thing. He puts his hand in it and lifts it up in the air, and just sees how it runs through his fingers, and he says, this bank is odd. He slips and slides through the sand as he walks out into it. Takes a moment to get his bearing on this shifting, not very stable ground. And
Blogvir is going to walk to the edge, up to where the water crashes up on the shore, high tide, low tide, or whichever it is, and he'll stop short. He'll stop short of actually touching the water, and then he'll just look down and grab a hold of his pouch that he wears around his neck with Gilfek's beard in it, and he will just remember how scared he was of the ocean and how his friend told him that it's just water, nothing to be scared of. And he will sorrow will be in his eyes, and they start tearing up, and then he'll walk into the water about the little ways, not like he's not going fully submerged in there, and he'll bend down and just run his hands through the water and pick up some of the sand underneath it and let it fall through his hands, and just take a deep breath. And he'll look for a shell or a conch or something beautiful that he will try to find and pick up to give to Kay if he finds her as a I'm sorry for taking so long gift.
You certainly can find several beautiful shells here.
Okay. Question for you on the water: does it have a full surf here, or is this a protected bay where the waves are gently lapping?
Yeah, there's a full surf here.
Okay.
It's it's about mid-morning, so I think that'll be low tide, I think.
So, yeah, Sheehan is just staring at this water and these crashing waves coming in, and his eyes just keep getting bigger and bigger. And as soon as Blogvir goes into it, and he sees that, he walks to the edge to where his feet are barely getting covered by a little bit of water, and
it's chilly.
yeah, he steps back out of it and shakes his boots. And he says, "Blogvir, is that safe?"
Well, go ahead and get a mouthful of it. See what it tastes like.
Okay. I hear it's not good for you to drink, though.
Don't drink it. Just swish it in your mouth.
Okay.
He just smirks.
He steps forward and holds his hands down to collect some water as it comes rushing up. And I'm sure this wave might have been a little bit higher, so it crashes a little higher and splashes him in his face, and he shakes the cold and such. And he gets a bit of a mouthful, and he's like, it's like salted meat.
And that's why you can't drink it. It'll dry your insides up, just like you would, dry some meat.
So how do fish live in that? You think it would dry them as well?
I'm not a philosopher. I'm not a naturist. I don't know these things, but I know there's fish in them waters. Don't know if they're of the fair folk or not, but I wouldn't be spearing them all. I kind of give you a slice of wink and a wicked grin at you.
For a moment, he sees the image of the widow, and he shakes his head. And no, I won't be spearing any fish anytime soon. He looks over at the boat, the ships out on the water, and says, "Those truly are houses sliding across the water."
Not only houses, they're moving fortresses, armed with soldiers and other weapons. Not all of them, but I've seen them. He kind of goes glossy-eyed, like he's remembering. He's going like his mind's back on the shores where it's like a thundering storm, and he's covered in, his mouth is full of blood and salt water as these Atlanteans and his fellow ogres and the Mercians and bearded folk are dying and fighting on the shoreline as a wicked storm blows through as these hordes of Atlanteans are pouring out of these ships onto the shoreline as the water begins turning red. The waves crash up and takes bodies back into the water with it. And he just remembers the screams, and he remembers the flashes of what he thought was lightning, but is Atlantean magic. And he goes back to this place, and he quickly snaps out of it because it's not a place he likes to visit often. And he'll reach into his pouch and pull out the tuft of Gilfek's beard and dip it in the water. And like, there you go, for my friend. You made it to the ocean. Well, maybe you can get a taste of that in the afterlife there. And then he'll put it back in the pouch, and it's like, and then straighten up and just look back at Sheehan.
Sheehan's just the sheer enormity of this water is just overwhelming Sheehan's senses. The breeze blowing in his face, that the smell of that salt. Now he understands that it's that all that water being full of salt, and he picks up a bit of the sand off the ground and puts it to his tongue and spits it out again and says, "Huh, I thought that would be saltier than it is. It's odd. I wonder where the salt comes from." So
I don't know, but it's a wonder, isn't it?
it is truly a wonder.
You both feel a presence standing behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit! I fucking wheel around, dude. I wheel around and get my hand on the hilt of my sword, like I'm about ready to. Who the fuck's up there?
Same here.
You see an Atlantean, clad in red, standing about a few dozen paces behind you, and he smiles. It's a beautiful sight, is it not? As he kind of walks towards you.
It's a terrifying sight. His eyes, my eyes never leave him. My eyes are narrowed.
I mean the ocean, my big friend.
That's also what I mean.
He actually goes to stand between you.
Okay.
He's looking out over the sea. So you've never seen the ocean before, have you?
I step back away and my eyes are still on him. Like I'm facing him. I'm twitching. I'm ready. Like he makes one wrong move, I'm gonna hopefully be able not to die.
Yeah. Sheehan tilts his head, wondering what this guy's saying.
I've seen it before. I've seen it run red with the blood of my countrymen and your Atlanteans. You wish for it to run red today?
He looks at you out of the corner of his eye. I do not wish it.
I relax a little bit. I mean, I'm still on edge, but I don't trust him. But at the same time, I don't want to tussle right now. The part of me does. Part of me is burning with fucking hatred. But this guy isn't an ordinary, run-of-the-mill soldier or farmer or something. He can tell. So
yeah, he's much too finely dressed and too fair in features to be a peasant. He's clearly either a noble, a prince, or maybe even a king. But he has this confidence as he's standing amongst you that you don't pose a threat to him. He just you do not detect that about him. And he turns to Sheehan, and he speaks in the Nemersian tongue. Oh, you are of the fairies. I see. I've only seen pictures of your kind. They don't draw your horns correctly.
They may. My horns are somewhat unique.
But they are too small even for the ones on your head.
Then yes, they do draw them too small. Many of my kind have great sweeping horns.
Almost as if they are a rack on the deer, I suppose.
Somewhat, but not quite the same. So
I saw you two from the grass up there. You seem quite perplexed by the vastness of the crushing depths.
Is that what this is called?
Well, it is the ocean, but the deity that resides beneath is known as the crushing depths.
Well, I suppose our gods live among the forests that we live among, so I would assume there will be gods in the ocean as well. So,
for the crushing depths is a great red whale.
Sheehan's thinking in his mind, whale must be kind of something. Like a fish?
It's it is like a fish,
Ah.
but a great, immense fish, the size of a boat, and sometimes greater still than a boat. And he points to one of the larger ships out on the ocean.
Oh, that's. I thought boats were smaller.
They can become quite immense. He walks away, and he's still talking to you. Um,
I'll look at Blogvir and sort of follow this fella.
he's
Okay,
actually
I'll follow him. I'll keep my eyes on him, though. Keep a distance.
So yeah, he starts walking in the direction of the city. Actually, that's like right on the beach. He goes, "No, it's," and his hands are kind of like clasped behind him as he's walking, very regally. His linens are flowing behind him in the wind, and he'll kind of call over his shoulder. He goes, "Have you traveled far?"
Yes, quite a distance actually.
Very far.
"Have you eaten?"
Well, I didn't make it this long without eating, if that's what you're asking.
I mean, today. Have you eaten upon this day?
No.
We had a small meal this morning upon waking, but nothing substantial.
I see. Then you must have food with me, then.
But who are you?
He pauses. He turns. My name is Myos.
Well,
And what do you do, Myos? You're no commoner. What would a royalty be doing walking the shores by themselves?
I am no simple royal or noble, as others would say. I am the captain of a ship. I am the captain of the Vermilion Radiance. He points off to a ship way, way the fuck out there that is anchored calmly in the bay. And this thing, it almost comes to your mind like Noah's Ark, his enormous war barge that has 3 sets of sails, 2 high. They're all lantine, triangular shaped sails. That right there.
So you command one of the great houses of the water?
Yes.
Well, then you should know our names as well. I am Sheehan, known among my kind as the Red Blade, of servant of the unsweet court of the Pike King.
He gives you a low and respectful bow.
I am Blogvir, known as a bloodletter. I worship the great goddess Carnage.
You're also a carnage worshiper. We have many of those within the city. It's one of the new deities that the natives worship. She's quite beautiful and quite bloodthirsty.
He kind of just cringes. It's just like, oh yeah, one of the new deities. Like, no, she's been here forever, you fucking peasants, you fucking uncultured swine. Hopping on the bandwagon, the fucking hype train of this new fucking culture. Oh, it made me sick. I want to fucking eat you alive.
But your name is Blogvir.
That is correct. Still eyeballing the fuck out of him. Like, just make a fucking move.
He goes, are you in any way associated with a beautiful yet quite rather tall maiden?
His eyes widen. You mean Kaya? You know Kaya?
I know of her.
Where is she?
Oh, she resides in my home.
Take us to her now.
Now? But she, wait. And then he crosses his arms over his chest and he gives this very suspicious look. And he kind of leans forward ever so slightly and says, "Are you her mate?"
Blogvir blushes and kind of looks away, but then he looks back at him, stern face, and draws a sword. Like, I'm not going to ask you again. I'm going to her one way or the other. We can do this peacefully, or I can take your head into the city.
Answer my question first.
I was her suitor. Yes.
Oh, well, if she wasn't your mate, then we can certainly wait. But I
We have
certainly
not.
heard her say the word mate not 2 months ago out of her lips. And if you are lying to me now about the nature of your relationship, I will have you punished, good sir.
I was courting her. You do not know of ogre customs. We are not mates. I have not won her hand yet.
Oh, that is not what she told me.
Blogvir has crossed many, many a league coming here.
For her. I've come for her. I'm not leaving without her.
He is upon a holy geas to find her, laid upon him by a washerwoman of the waters. Are you familiar with these?
I have heard some of my servants tell me of these horrible hags that reside on forgotten waterways, and I have deemed it necessary to stay away from freshwater rivers because they sound to be horrible things.
They are to those who are not initiated into the ways, but these beings, they protect those waters for their own purposes. But one did lay upon my friend Blogvir here at Gaius to go to his true love. So by his people, he may not be her mate, but by all action and by his emotion, he would be considered as such in my culture.
I have not earned the right to be her mate yet. You people took that from me when you raided our village.
For that, I am very sorry.
Not as sorry as the men, the sons you sent out to die upon my club.
He just turns and he starts walking. He's like assuming you're going to follow him. He keeps talking to you. He's like,
Blogvir's audibly pissed the fuck off. Like he is pissed the fuck off. His pump his asshole, but he's not gonna. He just grips the fuck out of his blade, the hilt, until like his knuckles just start cracking and turn white. But he sheaths his sword very forcibly, and he starts like fast walking, like marching up to him, following him.
Sheehan will struggle to keep up. I'm sure the ogre fast marches. That's quite a speed.
Oh yeah, of course. You're about jogging, fast jogging.
In the sand, I'm probably losing him.
No, Miles keeps talking. He's like, well, it was explained to me by your Kea that you certainly were indeed mates. And she was waiting.
Every time he says mates, and like Blogvir blushes and looks away. Not that anybody notices, but still.
He will certainly fucking notice. And he goes, well, are you amongst your people, are you considered bashful?
No. It is. Do you not know our custom? Just, I need to see Kea.
She's told me much about your culture, so amongst my people, I should be considered an expert.
She brings feelings into my being that I do not feel for anything else. And the thought of her considering me a mate was humbling.
He turns on you at that point, and he looks at you with this smirk on his face that you want to take your ogre fist and smack it off forever. That, my large friend, is the emotion that we call love.
I bite my lip so hard I start bleeding. Like this fucking motherfucker. Yes, I am in love with her.
He is an Atlantean that is quite literally alien to other Atlanteans that you're coming to realize. He enters the city. He's assuming you're following him.
Oh yeah, I'm on his heels. I'm fucking following this motherfucker.
If you eat and make yourselves presentable and meet me at the city square, I will bring you to her. Do we have a deal?
We have a deal, but I'm not leaving her without her. Put that on the table right now. I'm leaving with her.
That is her decision.
Good. Let her decide if she wishes to leave. But she will not stay here against her will. The slave she is taken by you and your kind.
And that right here, we will have closing soliloquies for the evening. Sheehan has the floor.
Sheehan's worried at this point. He sees Blogvir's emotions flashing across his face, the rage, him barely holding back his contempt at this fellow who just seems to be playing with him. He's seen nobles of his own kind. In fact, this fellow reminds him of the nobles who used to hire him to go on the raids against the Mercians. Now that he used to think were just so much beneath him. This fellow has the same bearing as those Fae, though his way is a bit alien. The idea is still there in his eyes and the way he gazes upon what he sees as maybe mere mortals. Most likely, this fellow may have the same kind of protections as nobles back home do, so that those who are of common birth who lay hands upon such a noble will instantly be taken and, if not executed, at least exiled. And he's worried that Blogvir may lose his control at this point and possibly harm this fellow. And then once he turns and says this, that he will meet us once we make very presentable, he actually sighs a bit of a sigh of relief, and he's thinking about Blogvir's being so close to his goal. And then when the fellow said it is her choice, that may confuse him, because slaves usually don't have a choice. They usually don't get to leave whenever they wish. There's more to these Atlanteans than, or at least they're stranger than he may even thought, if a slave can just leave when they wish. And what slave would stay? With that thought, Sheehan sort of begins looking around for a place where he might be able to actually stay and, as this fellow said, make himself look presentable.
Myos has brought you to one of the many main thoroughfares, kind of a four-way intersection that has a statue of, actually, surprisingly enough, the silent monolith there as the nature deity. Sheehan will recognize this deity quite almost literally instantly. And surrounding this great henge, this singing standing stone, is a fountain, kind of a reflecting pool, if you will. And there are people gathering water in ewers and then bringing them elsewhere to be used. And Mayo says, if you stay here, I will come back for you this evening. There is a bath. He points to a building across the way. See yourselves bathed, oiled, scented if you wish, but I will not be presenting this Kea to a road filthy brigand that I am told is her mate. And he shoots a glare at Blogvir that he throws an intimidate at you, and
Oh shit!
he scores a 28.
I'm pretty sure I can't beat that. So,
you can actually, if you want to, roll for. Let me find it for you. Roll for premonition there.
premonition. Oh Jesus! That's a 10.
Yeah, so he cows you with a look. There is no small amount of supernatural presence behind that look. And you are made painfully aware that you are indeed a demigod.
Well, my eyes widen at the fact that this is no mere pompous asshole noble, that this is something else, and I will take a step back and avert my eyes and try to make sure that that nobody sees I'm visibly shaking a little bit.
Sheehan will notice that there is the smell of the sea, the ocean wind, and a touch of the deep about Myos there. And he realized that indeed that you are in fact dealing with the Atlantean, a translation of Achilles, a demigod, if you will. His eyes glow with an ever so slight sea blue there.
So I'm thinking on the order of a lord of a court.
This is even more powerful than that.
Got ya. Okay.
Myos again, he points to the bathhouse across the street. Make yourselves presentable there, and I will come find you this evening. Do not get yourselves killed in this city. He turns on his heel and then walks away. And as he turns and the sea breeze kind of kicks up his long scarlet linens, Blogvir, a brief soliloquy from him.
As this presence leaves, Blogvir realizes he wasn't breathing the whole time. He lets out takes in a deep breath and lets it out, and calms his nerve as he looks down and his hand is shaking, and he just grips it with the other hand and tries to focus. He has found Kea. She is alive, but this otherworldly thing has her, and it seems that she is not so much a slave or a captive as a guest, which confuses Blogvir even more. He knew she was taken as a slave. The visions told him that he saw her slaving away. But this otherworldly creature, this Atlantean god of some sort, in Blogvir's mind, this or powerful sorcerer of some sort, has her, but she's a guest, it would seem, of some sort, and Blogvir can't wrap his mind around any of this. All these things are being bombarded into his mind at once. Like, is he telling the truth? Is she unharmed? Is she willingly join him? Has she been tainted and converted to these conquerors' way of life. She'd been incorporated and absorbed into their lifestyle. And the thought of such things brings anger and rage in the Blogvir, but also sadness. So much sadness that he feels a knot in his gut and his throat. That what if she has converted over to their side? What if she is more Atlantean than Ogre now? And what if she chooses to stay at her own free will? What if she enjoys this? This is her life. It's what she wants. And him coming to find her was just a foolish trek for a love-struck fool. What it started out to be. And then the she demon of the water made him more than that. He found what he was looking for, but he has not yet acquired it. And when he does, then this demon will want her pay. And how's he going to do that? He can't start slaughtering Atlanteans in their capital city. Their forward post, if you will. But she needs her bodies to be washed. And if he doesn't do it, then she's going to wash those close to him. Sheehan or Kea, even if she doesn't join him, if she wants to stay here, she's still at danger. She's at risk. And Sheehan, he's come all this way to help me when there's so much more pressing matters to attend to. And what if I don't appease this demon? What if something happens to him and he gets taken and washed? He gets killed because of something foolish on Blogvir's end. In Blogvir, he has all these questions and no answers. All he can do now is trust that this powerful being, this god, if you will, in Atlantean clothing, if he's not lying, he has to agree with me. He's at his mercy. He has to play his game. And Blogvir doesn't know what will come, but he is scared. Scared for a lot of things, mostly scared for his friend's life, but more so than that, he's scared that she'll reject him, that she doesn't want him anymore, that her time amongst the Atlanteans have turned her, and she will cast him aside like yesterday's refuse. And that scares him more than anything. It scares him more than he's been his entire life. As he'll just let out a sigh and begin shakily walking towards this bathhouse to clean himself up and hopefully win the love of his life.
Beautiful, gentlemen. And that is when the stage curtains will close on session 16. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Excellent session. You guys have a wonderful night. We will be back next week at the same time, same place, same channel. Good night, everybody.
Good night.